50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं गौरव एक बार वापस से आपका स्वागत करता हूं इन योर फेवरेट गैजेट शो. इट्स कॉल्ड गैजेट 360 विद टेक्निकल, जहां पे बेसिकली एवरी वीक आई कम टू यू और अदर से यू कम टू मी और बेसिकली वी बोथ कम टू ईच अदर टू लर्न मोर अबाउट गैजेट्स एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, बिकॉज बहुत कुछ नया मिलता है हमें हर वीक इन टर्म्स ऑफ न्यू लॉन्चेस, न्यू अपडेट्स. मेरी तरफ से आपके लिए सवालों के जवाब जो आपको मिल जाते हैं, सब कुछ एक साथ मिलता है इन एवरी एपिसोड, सो दैट आप गैजेट्स की दुनिया में खोए रहें और जब तक नए एपिसोड आए तब तक सोचें कि हाँ अब फ्यूचर में क्या होने वाला है. वेल, दिस वीक इज वेल आई हैव गॉट अमेजिंग स्टफ फॉर यू. काफी मजा आने वाला है, तो बिना टाइम वेस्ट किए जल्दी से आगे बढ़ते हैं. चलिए शुरू करते हैं. फ्रेंड्स, शुरुआत करते ही सबसे पहले गियर चेंज करके रिवर्स गियर लगाते हैं, बिकॉज हमको लेना है रीकैप इन टर्म्स to learn what happened in the past week of gadgets, because as I say they move really quick. जो आज लॉन्च हुआ वो कल सेल पे जाएगा, जो कल सेल पे गया वो परसों पुराना हो जाएगा. So we need to be updated. Let's see क्या हुआ इस पूरे हफ्ते में in the field of gadgets in this segment, news of the week.
Google has introduced its latest innovation in quantum computing, the Willow quantum processor. ये प्रोसेसर क्रिप्टोग्राफी, ड्रग डिस्कवरी और AI जैसे फील्ड्स को रेवोल्यूशनलाइज करने वाला है by exponentially increasing computational power. Realme is gearing up to launch its latest smartphone, the Realme 14X 5G in India. ये एक सब 20K स्मार्टफोन होगा जो ड्यूरेबिलिटी और अफोर्डेबिलिटी दोनों को टारगेट करेगा. The official launch date and details are expected to be revealed shortly. Xiaomi has expanded its portfolio into electric vehicles with the unveiling of the YU7 electric SUV in China. Featuring a sleek design, advanced autonomous driving capabilities, and a competitive price point, pre-orders select markets में जल्द ही open होंगे. Apple has started rolling out iOS 18.2, bringing ChatGPT integration directly to its devices. इस अपडेट से यूजर्स OpenAI के conversational AI को Siri और सिस्टम फंक्शंस के थ्रू सीमलेसली एक्सेस कर पाएंगे. ये फीचर प्रोडक्टिविटी और डेली इंटरैक्शंस को और ज्यादा एनहांस करेगा. OpenAI has made Sora, its advanced AI video generation model, publicly available. Sora की मदद से यूजर्स सिंपल टेक्स्ट प्रॉम्प्ट से हाई क्वालिटी और रियलिस्टिक वीडियोस क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, with applications ranging from content creation to marketing.
Friends, for the first story, let's fly to Europe. Let's fly to Germany. Stuttgart in Germany, जहाँ पे हैं Mercedes-Benz के headquarters. And वहाँ पे जब मैं गया, मैं आपको भी अपने साथ लेके जाने वाला हूँ, and हम बात करने वाले हैं about the future of cars. Guys, this is some very exclusive piece just for you. For us to learn कि फ्यूचर में जो कार्स आने वाली हैं, जो मर्सिडीज डेवलप कर रहा है, उसमें क्या क्या टेक्नोलॉजीज होने वाली हैं, what all amazing features these cars would have, and how exactly the futures of cars looks like from the point of view of Mercedes-Benz. Let's go to Stuttgart to learn more about it. दोस्तों, आज का जो ये वीडियो है ना, इट इज वेरी 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 स्पेशल एंड द रीजन इज कि मैं हूं फिलहाल मर्सिडीज के हेडक्वार्टर्स में इन स्टुटगार्ट जर्मनी और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं अबाउट द फ्यूचर एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ a Mercedes-Benz. Basically, what Mercedes is doing to kind of evolve all the vehicles, all the experiences in future. And आज का जो वीडियो है is quite exciting. तो आगे बढ़ते हैं और पता लगाते हैं कि what is cooking in this lab, because this is where the future is planned. Now friends, first things first, have a look at these three screens. ये जो है, this is the look of the future London in the 2040s कि फ्यूचर में लंदन कैसा होने वाला है, जहाँ पे वी हैव पीपल ऑन द साइड्स, यहाँ पे डिलीवरी रोबोट्स दिख रहे हैं, देयर आर स्मार्ट कार्स, कनेक्टेड कार्स, लाइक this is just a vision of the future. Next we have something similar for Los Angeles कि LA जो है वो फ्यूचर में कैसा होने वाला है. हॉलीवुड साइन हमको दिख रहा है, but then again if you see variety of cars, people walking with AR glasses, और यहाँ पे again it's a different experience of the future. Coming forward, we have the similar stuff for Shenzhen as well. I mean, looks like a complete futuristic city जहाँ पे we have the drone taxis as well. But the idea is कि यहाँ पे how exactly हमको मजा मिलेगा future में of all the cars and everything. Speaking of cars, have a look at this one. This is the Vision 111. मतलब ये लगता है कि किसी मूवी के सेट से निकल के यहाँ पे आई है या फिर यहाँ से किसी मूवी के सेट पे जा सकती है. बट द आइडिया इज दिस इज व्हाट वी आर सपोज्ड टू गेट सम टाइम इन फ्यूचर विद ऑल द टेक पैक्ड इन. और आज हमने देखा यहाँ पे अलग अलग एक्सपीरियंसेस. मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ एक एक करके क्विकली that what all things we saw in terms of new engineering, in terms of new experiences and stuff that would be really helpful for the cars of the future. एक और कार आपके सामने है. This is the Vision EQXX and guys, this car officially holds the record of the most efficient electric vehicle ever. इसने एक सिंगल चार्ज में 1000 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा डिस्टेंस कवर किया. तो जस्ट इमेजिन कि कितनी ज्यादा एफिशिएंट ये कार है. वेरी एरोडायनामिक, बट व्हाट गेट्स बेटर आई विल शो यू इनसाइड. तो यहाँ पे अंदर हमारे पास में सबसे पहले वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द पावर कन्वर्टर. ये जो पूरा एक्सपीरियंस है, मतलब सी इफ यू टॉक अबाउट फ्यूचरिस्टिक कार्स, अगर हम ईवीज की बात करें, गाइस इनोवेशन इज अ की एंड मर्सिडीज यूजुअली स्पेंड्स लाइक 8 billion euros annually just for the R&D side. तो यहाँ पे डेवलप किया है ये एक बहुत ही छोटा सा पावर कन्वर्टर. फ्यूचर में दिस माइट बी यूज्ड इन कार्स. और बेसिकली होगा क्या कि जो बैटरी टेक्नोलॉजी है, जैसे हम अलग अलग सेल्स देखते हैं जो लगे होते हैं, मतलब overall the efficiency and the reliability and the fast charging, everything will enhance. एक और चीज बहुत एक्साइटिंग है which is right here, because this if you see is the roof of the Vision EQXX और इसके अंदर सोलर पैनल्स लगे हैं. Now a solar panel, if I show you how exactly it looks, is like this. अब ये काफी फ्रेजाइल है and I mean not as efficient, and of course you can't have it छत के अलावा कहीं और कार में. But what's the future is this. Guys, ये जो है, this is a very interesting thing which is a solar कोटिंग. तो इमेजिन करो कि कार की बॉडी के ऊपर आपने पूरा ऐसा कोट कर दिया है एंड व्हाट वी आर गेटिंग इज कि आपको कार चार्ज नहीं करनी है, धूप से आपको इतनी बैटरी मिल रही है कि यू कैन कंटिन्यू योर डेज, मतलब नॉर्मल रूटीन. और एक साल में लेट से 12,000 किलोमीटर गाड़ी चलाने लायक जो एनर्जी आपको चाहिए, इट्स कमिंग स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम हियर. एंड यहाँ पे बिकॉज वी आर यूजिंग द पावर कन्वर्टर, स्ट्रेट अवे द बैटरी इज बीइंग चार्ज्ड. हमने कुछ डेमोज लिए, काफी एक्साइटिंग लगा. Let me show you what's next. This is the next segment and यहाँ पे it's about the brake of the future. See, normally this is how a traditional braking system works. We have the big disc. इसके ऊपर this is the caliper. बहुत भारी होता है, मतलब if I try lifting is like let's say 3, 4, 5 kilos and these are the brake pads. इनको हमको चेंज करना पड़ता है टाइम के साथ साथ और ये घिस जाते हैं, गंदगी भी फैलाते हैं. देयर इज लॉट्स ऑफ डिब्री, बट द ब्रेक्स ऑफ द फ्यूचर वुड बी समथिंग लाइक दिस. यहाँ पे ये ट्रांसपेरेंट के थ्रू आप देख सकते हो क्या है. दिस इज ऑल कवर्ड एंड दिस इज कंप्लीटली डिसअसेंबल्ड सिस्टम. तो गाइस नॉर्मली गाड़ी में क्या होता है, डिस्क घूमती है, जो ब्रेक पैड है वो स्टेशनरी होता है और वो चिपकता है। यहां पे क्या होगा, ब्रेक पैड घूमेगा, डिस्क स्टेशनरी रहेगी और अगेंस्ट चिपकेगा। एंड लुक एट दिस, हाउ बिग इज दिस। एंड यहां पे द फ्यूचर वी माइट गेट समथिंग लाइक दिस, जहां पे जीरो मेंटेनेंस फॉर लाइफ टाइम। कभी ब्रेक पैड चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं आएगी, क्योंकि 98% ऑफ द टाइम जो कि नॉर्मल सिचुएशन होती है उसमें जो ब्रेक लगेंगे वो रीजनरेटिव ब्रेकिंग से लग जाएंगे, बट जो 2% जहां पे हमको एकदम ब्रेक लगाने पड़ते हैं, दिस वुड किक इन एंड विल गेट ग्रेट परफॉर्मेंस। आगे चलते हैं, आई विल शो यू सम मोर। Guys, the next is the customer-centered XR space, and the future is quite exciting in a way कि imagine करो हमारे पास में एक कार है just like this. Now this is just for the demonstration, but हमारे पास में एक हमारा smart glass हमने पहन लिया है, maybe it's a VR glass or an AR glass, something like this, you know. So basically what happens is it blends in real world and the virtual world कि when you are in the car seat and the car is driving all by itself, आप अपना काम कर सकते हो while you are wearing that headset. It's quite interesting and quite useful, and especially when future we talk about autonomous driving, ये जो पूरा टेक है ना, ये बहुत एक्साइटिंग होने वाला है। और अगेन इट गिव्स अ क्लियर व्यू ऑफ द फ्यूचर, दैट हाउ एग्जैक्टली इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्राइविंग अ कार टू ओनिंग अ कार to enjoying while you're inside a car is going to change in future, because this was the future experience at the Mercedes-Benz headquarters in Stuttgart. Friends, देखा आपने, I mean, what an amazing journey this was, जहाँ पे we got to see some new crazy innovations up close, and you know, I can just imagine कि future में क्या होने वाला है. I mean, it's too difficult to imagine, but basically Mercedes kind of, you know, showed us a way. So we have some brief insights. Let's see the kind of cars we'll have in future, and I hope they are not too expensive. Well, expensive की बात अगर हम याद कर लेते हैं, guys, you know, I'll tell you about the most expensive mistake one had done. साल था 2013 और एक IT वर्कर मिस्टर जेम्स हॉवेल्स ने एक हार्ड ड्राइव जिसमें 8000 बिटकॉइंस थे, गलती से जस्ट बाय मिस्टेक कचरे में डाल दी। दिस इज फ्रॉम न्यूपोर्ट वेल्स, और 2017 में रफ एस्टिमेटेड वैल्यू ऑफ 8000 बिटकॉइंस वाज इन द रेंज ऑफ लाइक $127 मिलियन। अब ये गए म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के पास कि बिटकॉइन वाली वो हार्ड ड्राइव ढूंढने में मदद करो। कॉर्पोरेशन ने मना कर दिया। इन्होंने ये भी ऑफर किया कि अगर ड्राइव मिल जाए तो वो काफ़ी अमाउंट डोनेट कर देंगे सिटी के वेलफेयर के लिए। स्टिल दे वर प्रीटी स्ट्रेट अपफ्रंट अबाउट इट कि नहीं, मतलब यू नो, इट्स नॉट गुड फॉर द एनवायरनमेंट, दिस दैट व्हाटएवर, एंड दैट हार्ड ड्राइव इज स्टिल इन द लॉस्ट पोजीशन। वैसे आज की डेट में 8000 बिटकॉइंस, इफ आई कैन कैलकुलेट, रफली दे आर अपवर्ड्स ऑफ $700 मिलियन। इससे महंगी मिस्टेक क्या हो सकती है? क्या आपको पता है ऐसे किसी मिस्टेक के बारे में? डू लेट मी नो, यू नो द एड्रेस, इट्स tg@ndtv.com। या अगर आपको नहीं पता है एंड यू नो यू वांट टू शेयर सम सिंपैथी फॉर जेम्स, वो भी आप लिख सकते हैं इन दिस ईमेल। काफी बड़ी गलती हो गई है। Friends, for the next one I have this, the all new iQOO 13 recently launched, and अगर मैं इस फोन को define करूं in just a line, मैं बोलूंगा this is the most value flagship in India right now, which is super powerful. बहुत अच्छे अच्छे फीचर्स हैं और प्राइस भी काफ़ी एग्रेसिव है फ्रॉम iQOO, as this phone is powered by Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, has as high as 16 GB RAM with 512 GB storage, has a triple rear cam setup with you know, this RGB light going along that you know maybe gives this new flavor अगर आप म्यूजिक प्ले करते हैं, let's say you have some incoming call or playing games वगैरह। at the same time has a huge 6000 mAh बैटरी जिसको आप 120 वॉट्स की स्पीड से फास्ट चार्ज कर सकते हैं। a big bright screen, everything packed together, this iQOO 13 you know बहुत एक अच्छा स्मार्टफोन बनाया है iQOO ने। let's learn more about this and see how exactly is the performance in real life.
The iQOO 13 is a flagship smartphone powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite SoC and features a 6.82-inch 2K AMOLED display with a 144Hz refresh rate. ये फोन दो कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस में आता है, 12GB RAM के साथ 256GB स्टोरेज और 16GB RAM के साथ 512GB स्टोरेज। डिवाइस में 6000 mAh की बैटरी है जो 120 वॉट्स फास्ट चार्जिंग सपोर्ट करती है। ये फन टच OS 15 पर बेस्ड है जो Android 15 के साथ आता है। The rear camera setup includes a 50 megapixel Sony IMX921 main sensor, a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, while the front camera is 32 megapixels. फोन दो कलर्स में अवेलेबल है, Legend with AG glass और Nardo Grey with enamel glass। इसके अलावा इसमें इन डिस्प्ले 3D ultrasonic fingerprint sensor भी दिया गया है। The iQOO 13 includes advanced AI features that enhance its capabilities in photography. The 12GB plus 256GB variant is priced at Rs 54,999, while the 16GB plus 512GB variant is priced at Rs 59,999.
Friends, there you have it. That's all about this new iQOO 13. मेरे पास में है इसका Legend color. This is in collaboration with the BMW M Motorsport. If you want another option, तो एक Nardo Grey color का option भी है. Looks quite understated. Pricing with all the offers start at Rs 51,999. वैसे आपके लिए अपार्ट फ्रॉम गैजेट्स आई हैव सम अमेजिंग टिप एज वेल और आपके सवालों के जवाब भी है गाइस। सब कुछ मिलेगा राइट आफ्टर दिस शॉर्ट ब्रेक।
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं।
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी।
NDTV Indian of the Year 2024.
NDTV नेटवर्क की तरफ से मैं आप सब लोगों का बहुत स्वागत करना चाहता हूं।
Celebrating the extraordinary.
Thank you, Judy. बहुत धन्यवाद करना।
Honoring those who shape India's future.
For me, it is a great privilege to participate.
NDTV Indian of the Year. Only on the NDTV network.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai, to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra.
Hello friends and welcome back after the break to your favorite show Gadget 360 with Technical Guruji. ब्रेक से पहले हमने बात की है गैजेट्स के बारे में और अभी टाइम है उन गैजेट्स को अच्छे से यूज कर पाएं उसके बारे में बात करने का, बिकॉज हियर आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर सम इंटरेस्टिंग टिप विद यू. See, screenshots they are pretty common. मतलब हम दिन में कितनी ही बार ऐसा होता है मोबाइल फोन पे कुछ भी होता है खट करके स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेते हैं, बिकॉज समटाइम्स वी वांट टू शेयर व्हाट्स ऑन द स्क्रीन. Screen recording, however, is sometimes even more useful when you want to demonstrate exactly what's going on your device. Mobile phones में screen recording is very easy, but becomes थोड़ा सा difficult when you talk about laptops, especially Macs. And if you are a new Mac user, you would be happy to know कि आपको किसी भी अलग से ऐप को इंस्टॉल करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है to do any screen recording because it's built in. All you have to do is just press Command, Shift and 5. The moment you do it, आपके सामने एक मेन्यू आ जाता है जहाँ पे you can select the area that you want to record या आपको अगर पूरा स्क्रीन रिकॉर्ड करना है and that's it. आप सीधा वहीं से अपनी स्क्रीन को रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं and then you can share it with whoever you want. तो basically Command Shift 3 से आप स्क्रीनशॉट क्लिक कर सकते हैं, Command Shift 4 से आप एक पार्शियल स्क्रीनशॉट क्लिक कर सकते हैं, Command Shift 5 से you can do screen recording. Tip for all the Mac users, शेयर कर दो अपने सभी दोस्तों के साथ में. Guys, now it's time जहां पे मैं देता हूं सवालों के जवाब in this section Ask TG. Again this week I've got amazing questions. Well I hope so. और मेरे पास में शायद उन सभी के जवाब भी हैं. Let's see इस बार हमको कौन से questions मिले हैं.
Hey गौरव, क्या अब्रॉड से परचेज किए हुए सैमसंग फोन्स की वारंटी मिलती है?
नहीं, you won't get a warranty in India if you buy your Samsung Galaxy smartphones from out of India, unfortunately. Well my friend, options हैं market में of a smart ring under ₹20,000, but unfortunately I cannot recommend any one of those options because कहीं ना कहीं आपको कुछ ना कुछ इतना मज़ा नहीं आएगा. So you can get the ultra human ring, but वो थोड़ा सा 20,000 के ऊपर जाती है और even higher is the Galaxy ring. So unfortunately 20,000 के नीचे जो rings हैं मैं recommend नहीं कर पाऊँगा because in terms of what data you get and how kind of unreliable they are, तो not good. तो basically आप थोड़ा सा अगर पैसा और उसमें ऐड करें, at least start with an ultra human, you will be really happy, but थोड़ा सा आपको महंगा पड़ेगा 20,000 से. Nokia Morph prototype. Still remember those images जो एक टाइम पे आई थी सामने की yes this might be the phone of the future वगैरह, but I don't think so. हमको ऐसा कोई डिवाइस देखने को मिलेगा. मोबाइल फोन्स as we see today more or less ऐसे ही रहने वाले हैं जब तक वो रहेंगे. हाँ, we definitely have the option of rollables and foldables वगैरह, but eventually AI जो है वो बहुत strongly integrate होने वाला है. The phones will be smarter and smarter, not in terms of hardware, कुछ एकदम ऐसा crazy, because production costs they are so high, demand sometimes you're not sure. मतलब एक टाइम था जब मोबाइल फोन डिजाइन्स में इतने एक्सपेरिमेंटेशंस हुआ करते थे, स्पेशली फ्रॉम नोकिया, बट आफ्टर द आईफोन ऐसा होना बंद हो गया है एंड राइटफुली सो कि आगे भी फ्यूचर में ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है.
हाय गौरव सर, why do car infotainment systems have sluggish touch screens?
It depends on two things. Number one, sometimes the technology of the touch screen is not good. sometimes the processing power that the car has is not adequate. कि आप जब टच करते हो उसके 3 सेकंड बाद फिर वो मेन्यू खुलता है. Sometimes the scrolling is not smooth वगैरह वगैरह. But if you see in the modern cars that we have right now, they are pretty good. और वो आपको लगता है जैसे अपना मोबाइल फोन या एक टैबलेट ही आप यूज कर रहे हैं. तो depends on car to car and then again depends on, like for example if you take Mercedes from 10 years ago cut to how it is today, the difference is night and day. So over time the cars are being evolved बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे से. But yeah, I get it. Sometimes it feels slow just because maybe the processing power is not adequate या फिर जो टेक्नोलॉजी टच स्क्रीन की है वो लेटेस्ट नहीं है. No, I mean signature beat experience जो आपको मिलता है बीट्स हेडफोन्स में, वो थोड़ा सा हैवी बेस, वो ऑफ कोर्स आपको सोलो बड्स में नहीं मिलेगा. बट यस, दे आर स्लाइटली मोर टुवर्ड्स द बेसियर साइड, बट देन अगेन दे आर द चीपेस्ट बीट्स ईयरफोन्स पॉसिबल. तो वो आपको एकदम अगर बीट्स एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए, not the right product for that. Okay, so friends, that's all from this week's episode of your favorite show Gadget 360 with Technical Guruji. आपको पता है आपको क्या करना है? 2 चीजें करनी है. सबसे पहले you need to wait for the next week ताकि आपको मिले एक और नया fresh episode with everything packed together. Second thing, in the meantime, you just need to write me an email. tg@ndtv.com is the address. The email could be about anything. आपके सवाल अगर आपको कुछ पूछने हैं, let's say you want to write some suggestion or some appreciation, the address remains the same. और मैं और मेरी टीम हमारे inboxes को छानते रहेंगे for all your messages. By the time मैं जाके prepare करता हूँ अपना episode, आप कीजिए आराम. I'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. अभी के लिए इतना ही. Have a good day and take care.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
NDTV Indian of the Year 2024.
NDTV नेटवर्क की तरफ से मैं आप सब लोगों का बहुत स्वागत करना चाहता हूं.
Celebrating the extraordinary.
Thank you, jury. बहुत धन्यवाद करना.
Honoring those who shape India's future.
For me, it is a great privilege to participate.
NDTV Indian of the Year. Only on the NDTV network.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead. From maximum city, Mumbai, to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
home, a festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega
India bloc's leadership debacle continues after Omar Abdullah says the Congress is not doing enough to earn the leadership role. Congress leader Manishankar Iyer casts doubt on the party's leadership. In Prime Minister Modi's reply to the Constitution debate, he said the essence of the Constitution is unity in diversity. He slammed the Congress and said the emergency trampled on rights of the people. Opposition MPs react to Prime Minister Modi's speech in the Parliament. Priyanka Gandhi calls it a double math period while Akhilesh takes a Jumla drive. Bengaluru techie suicide Atul Subhash's wife Nikita Singhania arrested. Bengaluru police make 3 arrests in the case. Cabinet expansion of the newly elected BJP-led Mahayuti government in Maharashtra set to take place today with the oath-taking ceremony in Nagpur. NDTV wins big in the NT Awards. Battleground with Sanjay Pogalia wins 2 awards. Left, Right and Centre wins Best Debate Show. The Last Word wins Best Primetime News Show. NDTV Network wins 38 awards in total. We have some breaking news coming in. Another accident involving a Best bus in Mumbai. A man was hit by a bus in Govandi is what we're learning, resulting in his death. This incident occurred in Shivaji Nagar in Govandi at around 12:15 a.m. early this morning. The bus involved in the accident was A350. Remember, on December 9th, a Best bus again was involved in a major accident that took place in Kurla in Maharashtra. Again, another bus accident in Mumbai. This time around, this took place in Shivaji Nagar, is what we're learning. These details, of course, come in after this is the third accident, in fact, in a week. This comes after the December 9 Best bus accident. My colleague Anuj joins us with more details. Anuj, take us to the latest information on this accident that has taken place in Mumbai.
A life of a 25-year-old has been lost in this accident, which took place at 11:30 p.m. last night in near Shivaji Nagar bus depot. Now, just to put it in context, this bus was leaving Shivaji Nagar bus depot for Kurla station. Kurla bus depot, which is which is the same place where we saw that horrendous accident taking place just a few days ago, where lives of 7 people were lost, and it is the same congested area which has seen another accident. Now, there are a few more similarities with what had happened in Kurla a few days ago. Just like that, even this time around, we saw that the bus which was involved in the accident yesterday was on a wet lease, which means that it's a contractor bus. It's not a bus owned by the BEST, and that is going to be a major point of contention, be it wet leased drivers or wet leased buses. It is these things that have been these questions that have been put forth in front of the BEST about how much of trust do they really have as far as the wet lease buses or the contract drivers are concerned. But as far as the accident last night is concerned, the deceased here was traveling on a bike, a young 25-year-old man. He got hit by the right side of the bus, and as soon as he fell, he got hit on his head. Although he was taken to the close by Rajawadi hospital immediately after the accident, he was announced dead on arrival, suggesting that the hit was so hard that he lost his life at that very moment when when there was an impact between his bike and the bus. This incident took place at 11:30 a.m. At Shivaji Nagar bus depot, which is about 8 kilometers away from Kurla.
Thank you, Anuj, for joining us and bringing us those details. Now, the leadership challenge for the India bloc continues to loom after another ally has pushed the Congress and questioned them to justify them leading the alliance. Now, Jammu and Kashmir CM Omar Abdullah has in fact says that there's a natural disquiet in the India bloc. He says that the Congress needs to do more, and the pressure, of course, continues to build in the Congress. Listening to what Omar Abdullah had to say.
Look, by virtue of the fact that they're the India bloc is a national alliance.
Sure.
By virtue of being the single largest party in parliament and also having the leader of the opposition in both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the fact that they have a pan-India footprint, which no other party can lay claim to, they are natural sort of leaders of an opposition movement. That said, that position has to be earned. It cannot be taken for granted. And therefore, I think the disquiet that you sense in some of the allies is because they feel that the position that has been given to the Congress is now, I mean, they're not doing enough to justify it or to earn it or to keep it. That's something the Congress might wish to consider. But otherwise, sort of a leader of the stature of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, you don't have in any other political party, let's face it. And she does play an important part in the India bloc. She may not do much with the day-to-day running of the Congress party, but when the India bloc comes together, she does play an important leadership role.
Now, apart from that, Congress's own leader has questioned the leadership of the party in the alliance. Senior Congress leader Manishankar Iyer has told PTI on what should be the way forward for the Congress. He says the Congress must not aspire to be the India bloc leader and that it must give equal respect and equal opportunity to its allies as well. Bengaluru techie Atul Subhash's wife Nikita Singhania and 2 other family members have been arrested by the Bengaluru police. Remember, Atul Subhash in his suicide statement accused Nikita Singhania and her family of harassment as well as various other charges which he explicitly stated that are responsible for his suicide. Prime Minister Modi delivered a nearly 2-hour-long speech responding to the Constitution debate. Prime Minister said that Constitution makers focus on unity in diversity, and during his speech, the Prime Minister also tore into the Congress, targeting the Gandhi family. Prime Minister Modi said that it was the Congress which had attacked the Constitution, and that Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Sonia, and Rahul Gandhi all did their bit. Listening to some of the key excerpts from the speech.
देश संविधान के 25 वर्ष पूरे कर रहा था, उसी समय हमारे देश में संविधान को नोच लिया गया, इमरजेंसी आपातकाल लाया गया, संवैधानिक व्यवस्थाओं को समाप्त कर दिया गया, देश को जेल खाना बना दिया गया, नागरिकों के अधिकारों को लूट लिया गया, प्रेस की स्वतंत्रता को ताले लगा दिए गए, और कांग्रेस के माथे पर ये जो पाप है ना, वो कभी भी धुलने वाला नहीं है, कभी भी धुलने वाला। यह सब हिंदुस्तान दुनिया में जब जब लोकतंत्र की चर्चा होगी, कांग्रेस के माथे का ये पाप कभी धुलने वाला नहीं है, क्योंकि लोकतंत्र का गला घोंट दिया गया था। आज यहां किसी की व्यक्तिगत आलोचना करना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन तथ्यों को देश के सामने रखना जरूरी है, और इसलिए मैं तथ्यों को रखना चाहता हूं। कांग्रेस के एक परिवार ने संविधान को चोट पहुंचाने में कोई कोर कसर नहीं छोड़ी है। और मैं इसलिए एक परिवार का उल्लेख करता हूं कि 75 साल की हमारी यात्रा में 55 साल एक ही परिवार ने राज किया है, इसलिए देश को क्या क्या हुआ है ये जानने का अधिकार है। हर स्तर पर इस परिवार ने संविधान को चुनौती दी है।
Opposition MPs reacted to Prime Minister Modi's speech, while some MPs called it boring. Some said it sounded like the speech of an RSS leader. Listening.
The Prime Minister should know that Congress party only has given him all rights with this constitution, with the national flag and national anthem and independence, and that is why when independence has been given to him and democracy has been given, now he is the Prime Minister of this country. The same voice, without giving him an opportunity, getting the freedom to him, to the nation or the constitution, he could have become the Prime Minister of this country.
ऐसा स्पीच प्राइम मिनिस्टर को नहीं शोभा देता है. इट इज अ स्पीच ऑफ अ शाखा प्रमुख कॉर्पोरेटर लेवल. ही इज जस्ट वो गरिमा नहीं रही है प्राइम मिनिस्टर. जो पोजीशन होती है सबसे पावरफुल पोजीशन होती है नहीं रही. एंड नॉट इवन वंस आई एम शॉक्ड हैज ही यूज्ड द वर्ड सेक्युलर. ही इज जस्ट प्लेइंग अ ब्लेम गेम. और जो कांग्रेस ने नींव संविधान की रखी थी उसी के बदौलत आज ही प्रधानमंत्री बने हैं. वो नहीं भूलना.
Congress MP Rahul Gandhi led the charge from the opposition in the constitution debate, taking a dig at the Sangh Parivar. He said that the country will be run based on the constitution and not the Manusmriti. He also made a fresh pitch for social justice. Listen to what Rahul Gandhi as well as political reactions to his speech.
Political equality, but no social and economic equality. Political equality will be destroyed. ये अंबेडकर जी के शब्द हैं और आज ये बात सबके सामने है. पॉलिटिकल इक्वालिटी जो थी वो खत्म हो गई है. हिंदुस्तान के सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस कैप्चर कर लिए गए हैं. सोशल इक्वालिटी नहीं रही, फाइनेंशियल इकोनॉमिक इक्वालिटी नहीं रही. इसीलिए हमारा अगला कदम जाति जनगणना होगा. जो मैंने वायदा किया था इसी हाउस में, यहां हम कास्ट सेंसस लागू करेंगे और उसके बाद हिंदुस्तान में एक नए तरीके का विकास होगा, एक नई तरीके की राजनीति होगी.
आप अगर देखें तो एलओपी जो बात कर रहे थे उसमें बिल्कुल भी संविधान के बारे में वो कुछ नहीं जिक्र कर रहे थे. वो सिर्फ अपनी राजनीतिक महत्वाकांक्षा या फिर उसको कैसे उजागर करे उसके लिए उनका प्रयास चल रहा था. आज के दिन संविधान के रचयिता आदरणीय बाबा साहब जी अम्बेडकर साहब हो या फिर वो संविधान समिति हो, उन सभी का गौरव करने की आज ज़रूरत थी. उनको नमन करने की ज़रूरत थी. और जिस माध्यम से आज दुनिया की अर्थसत्ता 5वीं अर्थसत्ता बन के भारत उभरा है, उसका मूल कारण कुछ हो तो अपना संविधान है. ये डेमोक्रेटिक स्ट्रक्चर जो चल रहा है वो संविधान की वजह से चल रहा है. इस मूल तत्व को बाजू में रखते हुए वो सिर्फ अपनी राजनीति रोटी सेकने का काम कर रहे थे.
The cabinet expansion of the Devendra Fadnavis-led BJP government in Maharashtra is set to take place today, with new ministers taking oath at the ceremony in Nagpur. This comes ahead of the week-long winter session of the state legislature that is slated to begin in Nagpur as well.
नहीं, फोन वगैरह अभी तक कुछ नहीं आया, पर देखते हैं अभी क्या होता है. नहीं, कार्यकर्ता की लोगों की कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में की उनकी अपेक्षा तो रहती है, पर जो पार्टी और देवेंद्र जी डिसीजन लेंगे वो हमें मान्य रहेगा सब.
We'll continue tracking these stories for you. For now, a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
have been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं।
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी।
NDTV Indian of the Year 2024.
NDTV नेटवर्क की तरफ से मैं आप सब लोगों का बहुत स्वागत करना चाहता हूं।
Celebrating the extraordinary.
Thank you, Judy. बहुत धन्यवाद करना।
Honoring those who shape India's future.
For me, it is a great privilege to participate.
NDTV Indian of the Year. Only on the NDTV network.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai, to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country.
A friendly cricket match between Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla's team and Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagpreet Dhankar's team is being played today. The 20-over cricket match, titled TB Mukt Bharat Awareness Cricket Match, is taking place at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi. The Lok Sabha Speaker's 11 team will be captained by Anurag Thakur, while Rajya Sabha Chairman's 11 will be captained by Kiran Rijiju. My colleague Tanushka spoke to the leaders who are donning the cap of cricketers for the day. Listen in.
So are you looking forward to this match from the Parliament to the pitch?
See, when you are in the sporting field, you are completely bound by the sportsman spirit. Being a sports person, you learn a lot, positive thing. Whether you win or you lose, you play in the field. So with that spirit, we are here, the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha team, with a big purpose, TV Mukt Bharat. TV Mukt Bharat means a slogan which Prime Minister has given, and we need to achieve that, and to promote that, we need to create certain events, certain programs, and promotion of any kind of event through cricket, I think gives a wider kind of attraction, because cricket is very popular in India. So I hope whether we play cricket or we do anything, we must achieve the target of TV Mukt Bharat.
Sir, both the MPs of the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha opposition as well has come together for this cause.
Yes,
Can we expect, anything else, any other issue to, come up like this, MPs coming together for a cause?
Yes, definitely. We are playing cricket.
How excited are you from the Parliament to the pitch? Both the MPs of the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha coming together for an issue here.
No, it's a very exciting match, and I think it's a great initiative where members of Parliament cutting across party lines have come to this cricket field to play a match for a cause. The cause is about the awareness of, the disease called the tuberculosis. And I think what you will see today is that though a particular team has members of Parliament of almost several parties, almost every party, but they will play together as one unit, as one team, with a lot of teamwork and team spirit. And I think that is the kind of teamwork and team spirit that we require as members of Parliament of Team India. And I think this is going to be a great beginning, whereby I hope that the personal political animosity that usually even carry forwards post the election, we hope to see that diluting with initiatives like these.
Can we expect this sort of camaraderie in the parliament, you know, with other issues as well between opponents?
Well, I hope so, because the idea is that once the election gets over, all political parties, regardless of whether you're in opposition or whether you're in government, should work together, come together and work together as one unit. Because in the eyes of the world, we're one unit, we're Team India. While we, within the country, from election to election, may fight with one another on the political battlefield. But once the election is over, we should work as one unit. And I think that is also an unwritten message, a hidden message from today's match.
We're currently at Major Dhyanchand Stadium, wherein the tuberculosis awareness friendship match between both the members of Parliament in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is all set to begin. And I'm currently being joined by Union Minister Mr. Ram Mohan Naidu here. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV, sir. So essentially, what is, we know the cause is tuberculosis, but how would you look at this match?
Very rarely we all come together across parties and fight for the same event, and this is one of those important events where you see that on breaking those political barriers, everyone has come together, because this is a fight, not a political fight, but this is a fight for the country, fight for India, and we want to defeat TB at all stages. So this has been a fight which has been there for a long time, and today, for creating more awareness, for bringing in more energy into the campaign, for bringing more people and more support into it, I think this is a friendly match is going to be a great platform to go forward. Already I'm seeing the enthusiasm, the way MPs have come in to participate and all that. And I would like to say that definitely this is something which we need to take it much more forward, take it to the constituency level, more ground level, root level, and try to defeat TB. It's a fight between the MPs today, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, but the winner is definitely going to be India. And who is going to be defeated? It's going to be TB.
So also, how long are you returning to the pitch after? Do you play cricket often? And what do you think? Is your team going to win, or is it going to be?
No, looking at the fitness level, I think Lok Sabha is definitely going to win. And the other thing is that I don't remember when I played last. And one thing I can share with you. Anurag ji had one TB game, similar one in Dharmashala in his constituency back in 2017, I believe. So that was one time when we all played together in the same energy. But probably during the campaigns, I was trying to play with my constituents a little bit, but not as far as I can't recollect exactly. But it's a great to see the kind of enthusiasm here.
Sri Lankan President Dissanayake is in India on a two-day visit. This is his first state visit abroad since he won the presidency in September and his party swept the polls in November general elections. During his visit to India, Dissanayake will meet President Draupadi Murmu and hold bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Modi as well. My colleague Disha has more details.
After winning a thumping victory in his country's parliamentary elections, Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake is all set to shape Sri Lanka's future. And his first course of action, reaching out to crucial ally India. Dissanayake, also known as AKD, is all set to arrive in New Delhi today on a two-day visit, with the Sri Lankan Foreign Minister along with the Deputy Finance Minister joining him. By picking India for his overseas visit since becoming president, AKD signals a pivot from China, despite having a history of supporting left-leaning and pro-China policies. However, the Sri Lankan leader has reiterated that he will not let Sri Lanka be dragged into any geopolitical contest between New Delhi and Beijing. Now, this visit also signals a new chapter in the complex Indo-Lankan ties, given India has a contentious history with the JVP, or the People's Liberation Front, the leading party of Disanayake's ruling coalition. The JVP led various opposition movements against Indian interventions, particularly in the 1980s, when India and Sri Lanka signed the peace accord. Dissanayake also made his name during the anti-India protests in 1980s. However, he has since toned down his anti-India rhetoric significantly, indicating his willingness to work with New Delhi. With Sri Lanka being one of India's crucial allies in its Sagar and neighbourhood-first policies, Dissanayake is expected to meet Prime Minister Modi, Foreign Minister Jaishankar, as well as President Murmu, and discuss a range of issues from investments and connectivity projects to debt restructuring and the persisting fishing conflicts. It'll be interesting to see how New Delhi welcomes and engages with Sri Lanka's new head of state and how this visit shapes the new chapter in Indo-Lankan ties. Disha Bagchi for NDTV.
Proud moment for NDTV as NDTV network has bagged 38 awards at the News Television Awards. Battleground with Sanjay Pugalia won 2 awards, including Best Televised Live Initiative by a News Channel. Left, Right and Centre won the Best News Debate Show award, while The Last Word won Best Primetime Show. We'll continue tracking these stories for you. For now, a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
NDTV Indian of the Year 2024.
NDTV नेटवर्क की तरफ से मैं आप सब लोगों का बहुत स्वागत करना चाहता हूं.
Celebrating the extraordinary.
Thank you, jury. बहुत धन्यवाद करना.
Honoring those who shape India's future.
For me, it is a great privilege to participate.
NDTV Indian of the Year. Only on the NDTV network.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is a man of eminent scholarship. But if I stay there, if I stop there, that would be only half of his introduction. He is a prolific author. He is somebody who has captivated through his not only his observations, words, writings, India's economic journey transformation, but has also encapsulated it in so many places. In his current role, he happens to hold a very, very critical job. As the chairperson of the 16th Finance Commission, Mr. Arvind Panagreha will decide how the finances are distributed between the states and the government of India. However, I am not meeting Mr. Arvind Panagreha today for that purpose. I am meeting him for his latest book, and he has written a book on the first Prime Minister of India as a man of his scholarship must. The Nehru Development Model. Mr. Panagreha, welcome to NDTV.
My pleasure to be with you.
Mr. Panagreha, let me ask you a question. I tried to read this book, and let me confess that I could not finish it because of...
It's a thick book.
It's a thick book, and for the paucity of time, I received it during a working week, so probably it would had it been a weekend, I would have finished it.
Yes.
But you have given reasons why you have written it. You have written about the unfortunate death of your brother during the COVID years, and then how you were writing an article, and then it transformed into a book. But what's the provocation, Mr. Panagreha, at this stage to write a book on Mr. Nehru's development model? What's the idea?
No real provocation really, but what I think, not quite sure whether it's a prospective explanation, retrospective, but to be sure, while a lot has been written on post-independence history of India on the political side, on the economic side, hardly anything. Particularly, if one takes the contemporary period, meaning last 20-30 years, lot on the post-independence history, political history that is, but hardly anything on the economic history. Now, while this period, Nehru era, was unfolding, a lot of writings were happening at that time, but we also need to, sometimes go back and look at the events from today's vantage point. And that really, if you will, is the provocation. And ultimately, of course, we also want to learn from the past. So that is the effort. Both, we try to learn from the past, but we also try to explain the present in the context of what happened in the past. So both of those motivations drive the analysis of the book.
And it's interesting that you talk about political writings on Mr. Nehru and Mr. Nehru's governance, even during the contemporary times, because you have written in your book, Mr. Panagreha, that Pandit Nehru embarked on two projects simultaneously when India became independent. One was a political project and another was a financial or economic project. You say that he succeeded so stupendously in the political project that even when his daughter, these are your words, even when his daughter tried to tinker with those institutions, she flirted, as you say. Right. When she flirted briefly, she had to revert to the original and very, very brief flirtation, disastrous as it is, she reverted to it. How is it, Mr. Panagreha, that the analysis of your book, or the sum and summation of your book, while Pandit Nehru succeeds on one side stupendously, on the other side it appears that he fails miserably?
Yes. Well, I think, his, as the book explains, his original instincts were absolutely right. What he wanted to achieve for India is something that we still try to achieve for India, namely the eradication of poverty and making India prosperous. His instincts were in this sense quite right, that the whole purpose, in fact he even wrote in somewhere, maybe in the Discovery of India, that or even before that, maybe in the autobiography, somewhere I quote that that
yes, Discovery of India, you have quoted.
That ultimately the purpose of independence is also to eradicate the appalling poverty of India. So he also recognized very rightly actually that this could not be done without industrialization and growth, because in his own words, he said that the incomes were so low, existing wealth was so little, that redistribution simply, there was simply not enough wealth to redistribute. There was only poverty to redistribute. And so therefore, he saw industrialization and growth as the instrument of eradicating poverty. So on those counts he was correct. But now how to stimulate growth, and the model that he ended up picking turned out to be the wrong one. And so the kind of growth that was required, again going back to his own ambition, he wrote that, look, we recognized when we had held these discussions that to eradicate poverty completely in a matter of about 10 years or a decade, we will need 600% increase or six-fold increase in income. But that was too ambitious, so we set a goal of 300% or threefold increase in income. So again, very correct analysis up to that point, but then when it came to what path to choose, this is where his own kind of inclinations towards heavy industry, towards socialism, that kind of came in the way, as we later learned.
Before I come back to the socialism part on which you describe Pandit Nehru's journey from Fabian to radical, I'll come to that. But essentially what you are saying is that his diagnosis was right, but the medicine that he chose turned out to be incorrect.
You can put it that way, yes.
And there was caution. You said that while bulk of the economists were agreeing to what Pandit Nehru was saying, even the industrialists, corporates, etc., were agreeing to his philosophy of a mixed economy, private corporates, etc., etc. In the form of Mr. Milton, in the form of
Milton Friedman, yes.
Milton Friedman, you have mentioned Mr. Milton Friedman. There was a caution, and you say that that caution were to be proved absolutely correct,
100%.
In the years to come. But you also write in your book, Mr. Panagriha, that because Mr. Milton was traveling at the instance of the American government, the United States government, there was no chance of him succeeding. Those are your words.
Right. So what I also say is that, so this note, 4,000 word note that Milton Friedman wrote while spending a few weeks in New Delhi, was written in 1955. And till then, Milton Friedman didn't have much acceptance even within the United States, at least among the academics. So he was still yet to be accepted by the larger academic community in the United States itself. So this is what I sort of say, that therefore they had no prayer of being heard in India. And sure enough, that's what happened really, there is no mention, I don't think anybody knew about the note that he wrote, except his fellow traveler, P.T. Bauer, who quotes him in a 1960 book that he wrote, very short book on India. But the wider audience really came to know of that note only around somewhere in the 1980s, when Subrata Roy, I think, discovered this and brought it out in a volume. I myself came to see it only around in 2000, when I actually wrote on that note an Economic Times column.
So you mean to say that he was yet to acquire the kind of fame or the heft that he acquired?
He was known, but his acceptance, his brand of economics
was still
not accepted. Was not accepted, basically.
So
he was very pro-market. He was free trade. He was flexible exchange rates. These ideas had not yet been accepted. He gained over time incredible acceptance, actually, and
became a very big
became
name.
a very influential economist in the United States eventually. But that was still to happen. 1955 was still early.
Still
and he
early.
won the Nobel Prize, by the way.
Yes. And so it was not something very jarring that his advice was confined to the bins of.
No, it's not jarring. No. I mean, around this time in 1956 and 1955, before that, when discussions are happening on the second 5-year plan, when Mahalanobis writes the second plan frame, that is the framework for the second 5-year plan, conventional wisdom is that you got to do planning, you got to industrialize, you got to do heavy industry. We should also remember that till this time, even Soviet Union is generally seen as a success. So in this sense, there is a lot of acceptance. Of course, our own academics. There's in assessing the plan frame that Mahalanobis had written. There was a panel of economists, India's 21 leading economists from different parts of the country.
Prime Minister assembled.
Came in. He assembled that
Prime Minister
panel
assembled.
because,
you have written
because
it.
he believed in consultation and all. So he assembles that whole team, and they all look at it, and if anything, actually they want more control
more
than what was in the Mahalanobis
paper
plan frame. Yeah. So
Mr. Panagriha, let's come back to the historical figure in this book, that is the first Prime Minister himself. You said that he was also, in your book, you say that he was also driven by his own instinct. And you say that he was at some point in time a radical communist, and he was quite impressed by the Soviet communism.
Yes.
And then he traveled probably to a more pragmatic view of socialism or communism, what did you call it, Fabian socialism.
Fabian or mixed economy.
Mixed economy, which you have also written. So you think that the first Prime Minister of this country was quite radical communist in his leanings at some point in time?
Well, I don't have to say that I think so. It's in his writings. One of the quotes I reproduce in the book says, he once issued a press note saying that there are only two choices before us, fascism and communism, and between those two I choose communism. But there are other writings of his, including actually a presidential address in the Lucknow AICC, All India Congress Committee conference, where he very forcefully expresses this view that he extols the Soviet experience and says that the only thing that can ultimately tame or defeat capitalism, which leads to imperialism, is some form of coordinated socialist, international socialist movement, or various countries coming together, forming these socialist governments around the world. So he's clearly very radical in this view. And the transition, I think, happens over the following decade, between 1936 and 1946.
And when, of course, he comes into governance, then that probably mellows everyone down.
That also, but I think my own read here is that there was a committee called the National Planning Committee, which was appointed by Subhash Chandra Bose in 1938, within the Congress party, that is, and that had 14 members. Nehru chaired that committee, and among the 14 members there were 3 or 4 leading industrialists. That's where Nehru sort of meets his match kind of on the other side, on the market side. Because industrialists are very worried. In fact, there is also a story that after that his Lucknow presidential address, industrialists had got very worried that because Nehru in that address talks about nationalizing everything, the government becoming the public sector. He did a bit, but much less, nothing like, earlier he would be talking about nationalization of all private industry. Effectively more or less the Soviet style. So that got the industrialists very worried, and so these interactions then happened in this committee, which deliberated for 2 years, 38 to 40. Almost till the point that Nehru then gets sent to jail. And that's where somehow abruptly the work of the committee stopped. But there, Nehru himself writes in the Discovery of India that, there was a lot of, difference of opinion between the industrialists and me, but I learned from them and they learned from me. So the result of that was that they both seemed to have reached a compromise position of what came to be known as the mixed economy. Because not only that the Prime Minister accommodated the private sector, but the private sector also accommodated the public sector, because they wrote that in 1944 and 1945 in two parts, the Bombay Plan, which was published.
You mentioned
also.
It in great detail about 1944,
and if you look at the Bombay Plan and India's foundational 5-year plan, which is second 5-year plan, not the first.
Not the first, yes.
And that foundational 5-year plan and the Bombay plan are very similar. You'll be very surprised actually, as to how the two could be so similar. But my read is that it resulted from this interaction.
One influenced the other. That's your reading.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you something, Mr. Panagraha, that wealth redistribution and socialism, these are ideas that are still, and you have mentioned about it that how Nehru's own philosophy, thought, work plan has had lasting impact for decades on this country's intelligentsia, academia, market economists, everyone including bureaucrats. Yes, you have written it in detail. Even businessmen in detail. Now, these are the ideas that still refuse to go away.
Absolutely.
Congress party, even today sometimes, today sometimes, Mr. Rahul Gandhi sometimes, very vigorously champions ideas of wealth redistribution.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi is all about redistribution.
Yes.
I think, and then when the UPA 2 was running the country, I remember writing a column where I said that, the view within the government seems to be that the economy is like the Kamdhenu. The mythical cow, who gives without asking for anything. Without asking for anything. But the economy is not Kamdhenu. You got to nurture the economy for it to keep giving you. So that is really, this is where the redistribution. Because a lot of the reforms had happened under Narasimha Rao and Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
For Narasimha Rao, you have quite a praise in this book.
Yes.
That despite Rajiv years and Rajiv, who could have done all of that, you say that, he in 87, 88, you write, he comes back to status quo, almost status quo ante, and says it does, in your words, business as usual.
Yes.
But let me also ask you about this wealth redistribution and the corporate sector and all. We see, Mr. Panagraha, from the principal opposition party today, some sort of an obsessive targeting of certain business groups or wealth redistribution ideas, or in what would be seen in modern day era as radical socialism, talk of radical socialism. Do you think the Indian economy has the capacity to take these kind of shocks?
Well, see, okay, so to make it concrete, let's say, and there are also some economists actually, right, who advocate, for example, some sort of state duty, right, that upon death.
In the Americas also it is inheritance tax and things like that.
Yeah, and a big one, and the UK has very, very large.
Yes, now they have a new one.
So this is all driven by the instinct that, we want to put an end to the billionaires. Or at least, at some point we deprive them of a lot of their wealth.
A lot of their advantage.
Wealth, basically, a lot of their wealth. But you see, you have to think a little harder, because where are those billions sitting? They are not spending that money. Occasionally you might say that, we had this $1 billion or whatever wedding by Mr. Mukesh Ambani's younger son. But by and large, this wealth is not being used for ostentatious consumption. It is being invested.
And most of it is sitting in investments.
It's sitting in investment. Now, think about it, that if you were to tax it away, give it to the government, what do you think will happen to the investment? In the end, will the government be able to generate the kind of return that private investors and our leading actually entrepreneurs are able to generate on their wealth? In the end, you see, it may seem offensive that somebody has such kind of wealth and all, but think a bit harder. You need to continue to accumulate wealth, generate wealth. And who is going to generate wealth better than the entrepreneurs who actually created that wealth in the first place? So it's, to me, much more about allocation of that wealth into good investments. Now, obviously, the government over time will